Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the NBA Finals Showdown slate Game 3 between the Lakers and the Heat. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports daily fantasy sports slates. Real quick before we get into analysis, I do want to say thank you guys again for all support on the YouTube section or the YouTube comment section, on the live streams, on Twitter. Really do appreciate it, guys. The easiest way to support me, with all the content being free, it's just leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. Also, if you guys cannot watch the YouTube videos, I do upload on Apple Podcasts. The link is in the description below. It's just the DK DFS show. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we talk about players and the prices for Game 3 show on slate, let's look back my lineup here from Friday's Game 2 slate. So Friday's Game 2 slate went really well for me. So let's go over my lineup. Kelly Olynyk in the captain spot with LeBron, AD, Jimmy Butler, Hero, and Myers Leonard. So, we got the Myers Leonard starting news, about an hour or about 30 minutes before lock. He was at the flat min price. He only played 9 minutes. I thought he would play a little bit more. I knew he wasn't going to play big minutes. I knew obviously Kelly Olynyk was the play off the bench. Like, I knew they were going to run Myers Leonard out there for like 20 plus minutes. But I thought he would get, maybe like 15 or so, a little bit more. Did only play 9, but still, basically a point per minute there at 1K. The big surprise for me was I knew LeBron, AD, and Jimmy Butler were going to be a chalk, right? It was really obvious. LeBron and AD in this $100 term are 95% owned, Jimmy Butler 72%. And I mentioned that, right? Jimmy Butler's going to have to be more aggressive. Like, those are the three guys, the spend ups I'm prioritizing. And what really shocked me was Kelly Olynyk. Only 50% owned. And in the lower dollar tournaments, like the $25 big tournament, he was like 35% owned. So I was really happy when they said Myers Leonard was going to start, because if they announced that Kelly Olynyk was going to start, he was going to be like a 90+% owned, probably, right? So I was actually really excited and entered more. Like, normally in the showdown slates, I don't go big, but I did enter a little bit more here because I thought there was a huge edge. I knew that was going to lower Kelly O's ownership, and I was all about him still. Played him in the captain spot. The winning lineup had him in the captain spot. I believe it had Rondo and Markieff Morris. Or this is in the 100. In like the big tournament, it was Rondo, Markieff Morris. So it's basically my lineup, Kelly O in the captain with LeBron, AD, Jimmy Butler, and then it was Rondo and Morris over Hero and Myers Leonard. But yeah, no real regrets there for me. We're going Hero and Leonard. Hero was okay. It kind of disappeared a bit there in the fourth quarter, but no real regrets there. Kendrick Nunn was the guy I mentioned really liking. He did come off the bench. I still had interest, but with Myers Leonard starting, it's what worked with my roster construction, plugging him in. I had enough money to get up to Hero. Originally, I had those four guys with Kelly O, LeBron, AD, Jimmy Butler. I had none in there too with Iguodala. Iguodala was kind of a letdown. I know some of you guys played him. But yeah, that's really the look back there. It was a really good night. Profited in the $100 tournament. Profit overall, I think a little bit over $500. So no complaints at all from me. Hope you guys had a good day as well. I know a lot of you followed my lead and played Kelly Olynyk in the captain spot. A lot of you guys had really good nights as well. So let's see if we can keep it going here for Game 3 of the showdown slate. So I guess I should probably have the over-under up right now. It really depends because we're still waiting on Dragic and Bam news. They were both doubtful, and the reports were they both wanted to play. The Heat just didn't let them. So I think there's an outside I think there's a chance they could both play. I think Bam has a better chance than Dragic, but we'll see. So yeah, Heat, Lakers, 218.5 over under. The Lakers are currently 8.5 point favorites. That was 9 points when I looked earlier this morning. Not a big deal, but maybe a little bit more confidence that one of either Bam or Dragic do play. We'll see. So let's get to the player-by-player breakdown, and I kind of got to break it down in two ways, right? Three ways. If Bam and Dragic play, if only one of them play, or if both are out, right? So it changes the whole complexion of the slate and the status of both Bam and Goran Dragic, obviously. So the top two guys, LeBron, AD, If both Bam and Dragic are out again, these guys are going to be like the absolute chalk, and I would play them both again, just because there would be enough value. The price is like, it went down on none. The price in Kelly Olynyk didn't really move. So there's enough like really, really good value here that it's just like you just plug those two guys in. Now, if Bam and Dragic are in, then it makes it a little bit more interesting. I don't necessarily think both are must plays. I would definitely play one, but I don't think you would have to play both those guys. Who do I prefer with LeBron or AD? Give me AD for the discount, but again, not a strong take. I like them both a lot, and if both Dragic and Bam are out, I think you do play both LeBron and AD. Let's talk about Jimmy Butler. So again, kind of dependent on what happens here with Bam and Dragic. If both are out, I'm probably going to play Jimmy again because he's just going to have to be more aggressive. We saw it; he was right 25, 13, and 8 in 45 minutes, but he's played the entire game. So yeah, would really, really like Jimmy Butler to spend up if both of them out. If one of them are out, I still like Jimmy, but that does take a hit a bit to his usage, like if Bam's playing or Dragic's playing. If both of them are in, then I'm probably... I still think Jimmy is a decent play, but definitely wouldn't be one of my favorite plays at his price. Bam Adebayo himself, I think he does have a better shot of playing than Dragic. We'll see. If Bam plays here, I like him as a contrarian play. I don't think a lot of people get to him. He struggled in game one. I just think the ownership is going to be super, super low. So if Bam Adebayo does play, I like his upside here at 9.6. He is a little bit cheaper than Jimmy Butler too. He's actually been more consistent than Jimmy Butler in the playoffs as far as like fantasy production. I know the Lakers did pretty well, with Dwight with AD kind of shutting him down, but I think if he does play, he has a bounce back here. So again, dependent on the news, but I like his upside. And I think he does go lower owned if he does play, obviously because of the injury. Tyler Hero at 8.4. So this is kind of dependent on Goran Dragic news. Does Bam, Bam playing would hurt him a little bit, but Hero started for Dragic. If Dragic plays and Hero comes on the bench, that's a hit to his usage, obviously, and his minutes. Right, he played 43 minutes. If Dragic plays, I'm not as high in Hero. Again, I think he's okay. Dragic misses. I think Hero is a pretty decent play there in the mid-range. Again, if both Dragic and Bam are out, I think you can definitely play Jimmy and Hero together. That's what I did last slate. If that's the direction that you want to go, those are the two that should kind of lead the offense. So, and then Dragic himself at 7.6. We'll see. Dealing with the foot, the plantar fasciitis or whatever. I don't know. I think there's a better chance that Bam Adebayo plays. If Dragic does play and it's not going to be limited, another kind of interesting spot. His ownership will be low. People are going to be worried about the injury. Obviously, that would worry me too. But he's a guy that's been pretty consistent so far in the playoffs. So would be an interesting contrarian play if he does end up going. Rondo at 7K. Well, playoff Rondo, guys. He was amazing last game. 16 points, 10 assists, 4 boards in 26 minutes. So looks like the plan right now for Rondo is about 25 minutes. I don't expect 38 again from him, so I still think he's a decent play in the mid-range, but I feel like his ownership's going to be inflated after the last game. And you guys know I love playing Rondo, but at this price, it makes it yeah, he's fine, but I'm not going to really prioritize him. Jay Crowder at 6.6. I'm probably not going to get to him. The minutes have been down on him, actually, this series, 24 and 28 minutes, whereas the minutes have gone up for a guy like Kendrick Nunn, obviously, with no Dragic, and up for a guy like Andre Iguodala. So, yeah, Crowder, I think I'm just going to pass on him at that price. Duncan Robinson at 5.2. Another guy that's really, really been struggling the last couple games, 0-3, 2-7, and his floor is low if he's not hitting his threes. Now, if he comes out game 3 firing and makes a couple threes in a row, they will extend him. So this is an interesting play because his minutes are fluctuate big time. If he plays well, if he shoots well, they will extend him like they did the last couple games here against Boston, 37, 34 minutes. If he's struggling shooting the ball, they will sit him on the bench. So he makes for a really nice a tournament play here just because his range of outcomes are so high. His floor is so low, but he can definitely go for 30 plus. So Duncan intrigues me. I would still, if both Dragic and Bam Adebayo are out, I would feel more comfortable going to Nunn, going to Kelly Olynyk for cheaper. But don't rule out Duncan Robinson. Just know the risk. Right? His floor is really, really low. He literally has to hit his threes to get value. KCP versus Danny Green. I still, they're almost identical players. I do slightly prefer KCP, who's been shooting the ball better than Danny Green. They're both 3-and-D guys. Both probably. KCP's been playing a few more minutes than Danny Green. Danny Green did get a little shank it up that last game. Only played 22 minutes the last game, or that last one. So, yeah, you know what you're getting into. Those guys, I think they're solid value. Now, again, if both those Miami Heat guys are out, I'm just going to play none. I'm just going to play Kelly Olynyk. I'm not going to prioritize KCP and Green over those two guys. But if your guy's getting, going stars and scrubs, you might have to play one of those Lakers value guys. So with KCP, with Danny Green, again, they're very, very similar. Just go with what works in your roster construction if you do want to go that direction. Kuzma, 4K. And he's just been struggling shooting the ball. He's going to get about 20 or so minutes. I don't even know if a big game's going to come from Kuzma. I don't. He's just been not good. His upside is 25 plus. We just haven't seen it in a long time. So he is going to be lower owned than KCP, than Green. If you want to get a little bit different and go Kuzma, I'm fine with it. Again, he is a good shooter, but he hasn't shown it recently. Yeah, Danny Green, right, mentioned KCP. Very, very similar. He really struggled shooting the ball 1 of 8. He usually gets a little bit less minutes, or KCP usually gets a little bit more, but they're very, very, very similar plays. Dwight Howard at 3.6. Well, we're getting out of Dwight this series, right? We're going to get about 15-ish minutes. He's a good point per minute guy when he's out there, but he's not going to play anymore, right? He's going to play a shift in the first quarter and in the third quarter. 15, 17 minutes last couple games here. So, yeah, Dwight's fine. I don't know if he has the upside really to break the slate, unless you kind of need AD foul trouble and for him to come back in. But I don't even know if they would do that. They'd probably just go Markieff Morris, right? So, is the upside really there in Dwight in 15 minutes? I think he's fine, but I don't know if he has the upside to really win a slate. I think you need something weird to happen for him to get extra minutes. Caruso at 3.4, I think he's fine, right? He's a guy that will get 20 to 25 minutes. He probably will get somewhere around 15 to 20-ish fantasy points. He's a do-it-all guy, good defender. The Lakers like having him out there, so yeah, I think he's solid. Again, if both the Heat guys are out with Dragic and Bam, I do prefer Kelly O. I do prefer Nunn. I just think their upside is way, way higher. And did I skip over Kendrick Nunn? I did at 4.4K. Did not mean to do that. So, yeah, Nunn would be one of the top. Him and Kelly O would be the top value plays of the slate if both those guys are out. If Dragic is out, then I think they start Hero again. I think Nunn comes off the bench. I think Nunn gets good run. If Dragic plays, I don't really have interest in Kendrick Nunn because I don't see him getting enough minutes for him to get value. He has played well though. He played well the last game. In 29 minutes, 24 fantasy points, 13 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 block. He is a guy that is aggressive. He will have the ball in his hands a decent amount too. So yeah, would really, really like Kendrick Nunn if Dragic's out. I think there is upside for him to get close to 30 minutes again. And then yeah, Kelly Olynyk played him the captain spot. I don't know why it's 3.2K. Now, if Bam Adebayo plays, then yeah, I'm not going to play Kelly Olynyk. But if Bam Adebayo is out, Kelly Olynyk's the top value. Came off the bench, played 37 minutes. I think he would get the same rotation again. I think Myers Leonard would start, play about 10 minutes, and then Kelly Olynyk would get the rest. So, yeah, he's just an amazing point per minute guy. He won for 24, 9, and 2. Good shooter. Not a great defender, but doesn't matter. This is all about DFS and production. So, don't really understand the price there in Kelly Olynyk. Again, if Bam Adebayo plays, I'm probably not going to get. I guess he would still be playable because you would be worried about Bam aggravating his injury, I guess, and then Kelly Olynyk would come in. Or if you think the game blows out, Olynyk would probably get the garbage time in that case. But yeah, again, Bam's out. Kelly Olynyk, he's the top value. Andre Iguodala at 3K. A lot of people played him. He's okay. He'll play about 25-ish minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. Not as high as the usage guy as Kelly Olynyk and Kendrick Nunn, but I still think he would be a playable value option if all those guys are out again here for the Heat. So, yeah, he had 26 and 24 fantasy points 2 or 3 games ago, right? He is usually a do-it-all guy, so I'm okay with Iguodala 3K. I would prefer Kelly O. I would prefer Nunn, but he would probably be the next Heat value that I would go with if you're going to make me pick. Markieff Morris at 2.8, so he was in the winning lineup, 16 points, or 16 minutes, 16 fantasy points. The minutes have been going up on him a bit, 18 and 16 the first couple games this series. I think we get about the same, right? I think a little bit over 15. Yeah, I think he's doable, right? He was kind of in the closing lineup there at the end. He's a good shooter. I'm fine with Markieff Morris for value. Myers Leonard, I'm probably not going to get to. If Bam's out again, I think he does start, but only plays about 10 minutes. You would really need like Kelly Olynyk foul trouble for him to come back in. So, yeah, Myers Leonard is, I guess, playable, but I'm not really super excited about it. And that's really it. Like, Solomon Hill didn't play last game. Derrick Jones Jr., I think, played 1 minute. Or Solomon Hill played 1 minute. Derrick Jones Jr. didn't play. So, yeah, that's what they have for the player-by-player breakdown. Again, roster construction, well, it depends. If Bam and Dragic are both out, then I think getting the top 3 guys in your lineup is probably the way to go with LeBron, AD, and Jimmy Butler. If one or both those guys are in, then it just changes the entire slate. But right now, assuming both of them are out, it's definitely the stars and scrubs for me again. With the main 3 guys at the top, there is a lot of good value with the Heat value. A couple potential Lakers value plays as well. The mid-range is a little bit tricky to get to. Rondo would be probably the guy in the mid-range I would prefer, but 7K, we're not getting him an amazing discount. Not super excited about Jay Crowder. Duncan Robinson, the range of outcomes is huge, but he does have upside if he's hitting his shots. And KCP, Green are the same type of players. Nunn, Olynyk are probably 2 of the top value if both those guys are out. And there are some other playable guys down here for value. So, captain spot, it depends, right? Do you want to go one of the main 3 guys? If you do, so let's just say we throw AD in the captain spot. We go LeBron, we go Jimmy Butler, 2.9K remaining. It's going to make it a little bit difficult. You could probably make it work, but you're going to have to take a shot on some guys you're probably not going to want to, because you could go like Kellyo, Iguodala, and Markieff Morris. Would that work? No, it wouldn't. So you have to play Myers Leonard. So you'd have to get a little bit, mess around with roster construction, or you would kind of do what I did last slate, but this is going to be like really, really popular. But I still think it's probably, if both those guys are out, this is probably going to be the optimal captain in Kelly Olynyk again, right? And then you can jam in like all 3 of those guys at the top if you want to, or go Hero or Rondo, get a little bit different. But again, if Bam plays, I'm not really on Kelly Olynyk. If Dragic plays, I'm kind of off Nunn. We're taking a hit to Hero. So really depends on the injury status. That's why it's important, guys, to follow me on Twitter. I will give an update as we get this injury news tomorrow. So thanks again, guys. I hope you guys all have a good day, and I will see you all later.